Capricorn, there is a pattern in your life. You may have noticed it before, dismissed it, told yourself it was just bad luck or bad timing or something that would eventually work itself out on its own. But here you are again, and the pattern is showing up again, and this time something inside you is saying, this is not random. This is not coincidence. This is something I need to stop and actually look at. And that voice, that quiet, serious, deeply Capricorn voice inside you is right. It is time to look. It is time to stop walking past the signs that are asking for your attention and start reading them for what they actually mean. Because when Saturn is trying to teach a Capricorn something, it does not stop until the lesson is received. And once the lesson is received, the pattern breaks. And once the pattern breaks, what comes next is something that looks nothing like what came before. This video is about 11 signs that the old pattern is happening again. Not to discourage you, not to make you feel stuck or behind or like you are failing your own life, but because recognition is the first step, and Capricorn, once you truly recognize something, you have the discipline and the persistence and the strength to do something about it. That is who you are. That is why you are here. Let us look at what is repeating so you can decide once and for all that this is the last time. Sign 1. You are doing everything right but feeling empty. The plan is in place. The steps are being executed. The schedule is followed, the work is done, the responsibilities are met. From the outside, your life looks organized and functional and maybe even admirable. But from the inside, something feels hollow. Like you are going through the motions of a life that was designed to look like success but does not actually feel like living. This is a pattern that Capricorn falls into more than almost any other sign, and it is one of the most painful ones precisely because it is so invisible. You cannot complain about it without sounding ungrateful. You cannot explain it without sounding like you are being dramatic. And Capricorn does not do drama. So you keep doing everything right, keep executing the plan, keep being responsible and reliable and disciplined, while something essential inside you quietly starves. This hollowness is not a character flaw. It is not ingratitude. It is information. It is your inner life telling you that the goals you have been pursuing were built around someone else's definition of success. Your parents' version, your culture's version, the version your practical mind constructed when you were 20 years old and still building a life more from fear than from genuine desire. The plan was built to protect you. But protection is not the same as purpose. In Capricorn, you need purpose the way other people need food. When this particular feeling is back, and you know it when it shows up, even if you do not always name it, it is a signal that the plan needs to be rebuilt from a deeper place. Not demolished. You are not being asked to throw away everything you have built. You are being asked to examine what the building is actually for, and to make sure the answer is one that actually belongs to you. Sign 2. The same type of person keeps showing up in your life. You meet someone. They seem solid. They seem responsible or ambitious or grounded, the qualities you actually respect. You invest in the connection. You are loyal, as Capricorn always is, and patient, as Capricorn always is. And then over time you discover that this person, despite their initial appearance, is not actually what they seemed. They are unavailable, or they are takers, or they are people who admire your strength, but do not know what to do with your vulnerability, or they are simply not ready for the kind of depth that Capricorn eventually requires from the people in their inner circle. And then it happens again. Different person, same pattern, same disappointing turn. Same moment when you find yourself wondering whether you are simply unlucky in the people you choose, or whether there is something about you that keeps attracting the same type. There is something about you, but it is not a flaw. It is an unexamined belief. Capricorn, you have a deeply ingrained tendency to be more comfortable being needed than being known. You show your strength more easily than your softness. And the energy you project, capable, self-sufficient, composed, tends to attract people who want a strong partner but who are not prepared to be strong in return. The pattern of disappointing relationships is not about the other people, or not only about them. It is about what you are unconsciously selecting for and why. The why matters. The why is usually rooted in a core belief about whether someone who sees all of you, not just the capable, composed, dependable parts, but also the tired parts, the uncertain parts, the parts that need something, would actually stay. This pattern keeps repeating because that belief has never been examined out loud and challenged. When you do that work, the pattern changes. It has to, because what you believe about yourself determines who finds their way to you. If what you are hearing feels accurate, know that it could happen if you applied this energy consistently for 21 consecutive days. That is the 21-day challenge pinned at the top of this channel. It is built around daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you are tired of staying in the same cycle, that structure is exactly what has been missing. Sign 3. You work harder when things are hard instead of asking for help. This one you know. This is maybe the most recognizable Capricorn pattern of all. Something gets difficult, a project falls behind, a relationship becomes strained, a financial situation tightens, a goal that seemed within reach starts to feel further away, and your instinctive response is to work harder. Double down. Grind through it. Figure it out yourself and do not involve anyone else in the struggle. There are two things driving this pattern. The first is genuine strength. You actually are capable of solving a remarkable number of problems through sheer discipline and effort and persistence, and you have a long track record of proving that. The second is fear. Fear that asking for help means admitting weakness. Fear that weakness will cost you the respect of the people around you. Fear that if you let someone see that you are struggling, they will pull back or judge you, or see you differently in a way you cannot control. The pattern keeps repeating because both things are true at the same time. You really can handle a lot alone, and you are also paying a price for doing so. The price is isolation. The price is exhaustion that you never fully recover from before the next challenge arrives. The price is that you are building a life that technically functions without actually having anyone in it who knows what it cost you to build it. That is a lonely kind of success, and Capricorn feels that loneliness more deeply than they usually admit. This cycle breaks when asking for help stops feeling like failure and starts feeling like intelligence. The most successful people in the world, and Capricorn cares about success, so let this land, are not the ones who did everything alone. They are the ones who knew when to bring in other people and how to build something stronger than one person can build by themselves. Let someone in. Not everyone. You do not need to be vulnerable with the whole world. But let one person in. Let one person actually know what you are carrying. That is where this pattern begins to end. Sign 4. You reach a certain level and then pull back. You get close to something, a significant goal, a meaningful relationship, a real breakthrough in your career or your finances or your creative work. And then just as it starts to become real, you find a reason to pull back. Maybe you suddenly find more problems with it than you did before. Maybe your work ethic mysteriously shifts and you stop pushing with the same intensity. Maybe you create a conflict or introduce a complication that gives you a reason to step back from the edge. This is one of the subtler patterns, and it is one that Capricorn almost never recognizes in themselves because it looks from the inside like practical caution. It looks like sensible evaluation. It looks like the responsible thing to do. But if you look at the pattern over time, if you look at the number of times you have gotten close and then quietly retreated, you will see that something else is happening. What is happening is a collision between ambition and worthiness. Your ambition is enormous. It has been enormous since you were young. But somewhere along the way a belief developed, maybe from how you were raised, maybe from early experiences of working hard and not getting the recognition you deserved, maybe from watching others get things you wanted and being told you had to wait your turn, a belief that wanting too much is dangerous, that getting too close to what you really want means risking a fall that will be worse than the ones you have already survived. So you engineer a retreat at the crucial moment. You create just enough distance to stay safe. And then you start again from a slightly lower rung, and you climb again and you get close again and you retreat again. This is the pattern. And it costs you in ways that compound over time. The next step is not retreat. The next step is staying. Staying in the discomfort of being close. Letting the thing that is almost within reach actually arrive. You deserve what you have been climbing toward. Stop retreating at the summit. Sign 5. You say you want connection, but you keep people at arm's length. Capricorn genuinely wants deep, loyal, lasting connections. You are not someone who is comfortable with surface-level relationships. You want people in your life who know you, who have been through things with you, who have proven that they are worth trusting. But the ways in which you go about building those connections often work against you because one of the main tools you reach for control of how much you reveal about yourself is the exact thing that prevents the depth you are looking for. You let people see the dependable parts, the competent parts, the parts that have everything handled and never need anything. And then you wonder why, even in close relationships, there is a ceiling. Even with the people who love you, there is a certain depth you have not reached, a certain level where the connection still feels slightly formal or managed. And sometimes that ceiling lives not in the other person but in the carefully maintained walls you have kept around the parts of yourself you are not sure are acceptable. Connection requires risk. That is a fact that applies to every sign. But it applies to Capricorn with particular intensity, because the risk of being fully known and found wanting is one of your deepest fears. You have built such an impressive exterior, reliable, accomplished, composed, that the thought of someone seeing behind it and discovering something insufficient is genuinely frightening. But here is what the pattern keeps trying to show you. The impressive exterior, while admirable, is not what keeps people. What keeps people is the real version of you, the tired version, the uncertain version, the version that has doubts and old wounds and moments of genuine need. That version, the full version, is the one that creates real belonging. Stop letting people stay at arm's length and then wondering why you feel alone. Let one person close enough to actually see you. The connection you want is waiting on the other side of the vulnerability you have been avoiding. Sign 6. You sacrifice joy in the name of responsibility. There is always a reason to delay the thing that brings you joy. There is always a deadline, a commitment, a financial concern, a responsibility that comes first. The vacation gets postponed. The creative project stays on the list. The hobby that lights you up gets pushed to the weekend, and then the weekend fills up with other things. The life that feels genuinely enjoyable rather than merely functional keeps getting pushed to some future version of your life when things are more settled, more secure, more sorted. This is a pattern that Capricorn maintains sometimes for years without noticing it, because sacrifice in the name of responsibility feels like the right thing to do. Feels mature. Feels serious. Feels like who you are supposed to be. But what is actually happening is that you are using responsibility as a permission system for your own life, and you have set the permission so high that real enjoyment almost never gets through. Joy is not a reward for finishing the work. The work is never fully finished. There is always another task, another goal, another rung on the ladder. If you wait until everything is done to allow yourself to live joyfully, you will wait your entire life. And at some point, in Capricorn, who is wiser than most about the long view, knows this somewhere, you will look back and wonder what you were protecting yourself from by keeping your life so relentlessly purposeful and so rarely actually fun. You are allowed to enjoy your life right now. Not after the promotion. Not after the mortgage is paid off. Not after the kids are grown or the savings hit a certain number. Right now, in the middle of all of it, you are allowed to do things that make you feel alive and light and grateful to be a person on this planet. That is not irresponsibility. That is the point. If this message is resonating with your sign right now, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it sends exactly the right signal at exactly the right moment. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support, whether as a subscriber or as a member of this community, is what keeps these messages alive. The ones that touch hearts, awaken minds, and transform lives. If this video has been making sense to you, drop in the comments the day you were born. Let us keep going. Sign 7. You keep planning for a future that starts someday. You have a very clear picture of the life you want. You think about it often. You know what it looks like and what it feels like and what it requires. And you are building toward it, carefully, methodically, the Capricorn way. But there is a version of building toward the future that quietly becomes a way of never actually arriving in it. The future stays future. The someday stays someday. The life you want remains permanently on the horizon, always being prepared for, never actually stepped into. This is the pattern of perpetual preparation. It is comfortable for Capricorn because preparation feels productive, feels like the responsible approach. It feels like you are not rushing, not taking unnecessary risks, not being naive about how hard things are. But at some point, preparation that does not eventually give way to action is just a sophisticated form of avoidance. What are you waiting for? Not rhetorically, actually ask yourself what specific condition needs to be met before you allow yourself to start living the life you have been building toward. And then ask yourself honestly whether that condition is genuinely necessary, or whether it is a movable goalpost that will simply shift the moment you get close to it, giving you a new reason to wait, a new preparation that needs to happen before the someday becomes now. The life you want does not start after all the conditions are perfect. Starts when you decide it starts. Capricorn, you have already built more than you give yourself credit for. You have already earned more ground than you are standing on. The time to start living toward your actual vision rather than just building toward it is not someday. It is a decision you can make right now. Sign 8. You dismiss your own emotional needs as weakness. Something hurts, and your first response is to push it down and get back to work. Someone disappoints you, and instead of acknowledging that you are hurt, you tell yourself it is fine, you did not need it anyway. You are not the type of person who gets too attached. You feel lonely or overwhelmed or genuinely sad, and instead of sitting with those feelings long enough to understand them, you generate a task, something productive you can do, so that the feelings have less room to exist. This pattern of emotional dismissal is one of the most costly things Capricorn does to themselves, and it is one of the most deeply ingrained. It started early, possibly because you grew up in an environment where emotional needs were seen as inconvenient, or where strength was modeled as the absence of vulnerability, or where you learned that the way to earn love and respect was to be the capable one, the reliable one, the one who did not need things. But needs do not disappear when they are dismissed. They go underground. And underground needs tend to surface in less direct ways, as physical tension, as distance in relationships, as a low-level dissatisfaction that you cannot quite name, as a sense of being alone even when you are surrounded by people who love you. The pattern of emotional suppression is not protecting you. It is costing you the very connection and depth of experience that would make your disciplined, productive life feel worth all the effort. You are allowed to need things. You are allowed to feel things. Not only the strong emotions that look acceptable for Capricorn, the determination, the pride in a job well done, the loyalty, but also the softer ones. The hurt, the longing, the grief, the fear. These are not weaknesses. They are the full range of human experience, and you are a full human being. Stop dismissing half of your experience. Start listening to it. It is trying to tell you something important. Sign 9. You give your best to work and your remainder to the people you love. This is a pattern that shows up quietly over years, and then one day you notice the distance between you and the people closest to you, and you cannot quite figure out when it grew. You are a hard worker. You always have been. The work gets your sharpest attention, your best problem solving, your most focused energy. And the people in your life, the partner, the children, the close friends, the family members who love you most, they get what is left, which is often not much. Which is often the tired version of you, the already spent version, the version that is present in body but not fully in the room. This is not about blame. Capricorn works hard because working hard is how you build the security you care about, and the security you are building is at least partially for the people you love. The motivations are good, but the pattern produces a result that undercuts itself. The people you are working to provide for are simultaneously being deprived of the thing they actually need most from you, which is your full presence. Connection cannot be built from your remainder. It requires your actual attention, your genuine interest, your willingness to be in the room with someone rather than mentally somewhere else. The relationships that matter to you are trying to tell you something about this. Pay attention to the quality of connection you have with the people closest to you right now. Not the logistics of your relationship, the practical coordination, the shared responsibilities, but the actual warmth, the actual knowing. The sense that this person and I are really in each other's lives and really see each other. If that warmth has cooled, it is not because the people love you less. It is because they have been getting your remainder for too long. Sign 10. You set goals from fear rather than from genuine desire. When you really look at the goals you have been working toward, not the surface-level achievement goals but the underlying motivations behind them, how many of them come from what you genuinely want, and how many come from what you are afraid of not having? How many come from the desire to build something meaningful, and how many come from the fear of being without security, without respect, without the validation that comes from visible achievement? Capricorn builds from fear more often than from desire, and the building looks the same from the outside but feels very different from the inside. Fear-based goals produce a specific kind of exhaustion, the kind that does not go away even when you achieve the goal, because achieving the goal does not actually address the fear. You hit the number, get the promotion, receive the recognition, and then almost immediately the anxiety shifts to the next threat, the next insufficiency, the next goal that needs to be reached before you can feel safe. Desire-based goals feel different. They energize rather than drain. They feel like moving towards something rather than running from something. The pursuit of them feels meaningful rather than just urgent. And crucially, when you achieve them, they actually satisfy you. Not forever, you are Capricorn, there will always be a next mountain, but genuinely, in a way that fear-based achievement never does. This pattern breaks when you sit down with yourself honestly and separate the goals that come from genuine vision from the goals that come from anxiety. You do not have to abandon your ambition. You do not have to stop working hard. You just need to make sure that what you are working hard toward is something you actually want, not just something that keeps the fear at bay for another season. Sign 11. You know something needs to change, but you keep waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is not coming. This is the most direct truth in this entire video, and Capricorn needs to hear it clearly. The perfect moment, the moment when everything is stable enough, settled enough, prepared enough, safe enough to make the change that you know needs to be made, is not coming. Because life is not structured to deliver perfect moments. Life delivers complicated moments, messy moments, moments full of competing demands and incomplete information, and reasonable uncertainty. And the change you need to make has to happen inside one of those complicated moments, because those are the only moments that actually exist. The pattern of waiting for the perfect moment has been keeping you in situations you have already outgrown, in relationships that no longer fit who you have become, in a version of your life that was built for an earlier version of yourself. And every season you spend waiting for the right conditions is a season you spend not building the thing that is actually calling to you. Capricorn's patience is one of your greatest gifts. But patience applied to the wrong thing becomes inertia. And inertia is the thing this pattern is built on. The habit of waiting just a little longer, just until things are more certain, just until you feel more ready. This habit has a cost that compounds over time. And you, who think in long-term terms better than almost any other sign, already understand the mathematics of compounding. The time you invest in waiting is time you are not investing in building. And the building is the thing you were made for. The moment to begin is now. Not next season. Not when the money is better or the circumstances are cleaner or the fear is smaller. Now, in the middle of the complication, in the middle of the uncertainty, that is when the pattern breaks. That is when the real Capricorn story starts. If this message resonated with your sign, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it always sends exactly the right signal. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support as a subscriber or as a member of this community is what keeps these messages alive. They are the messages that touch, awaken, and transform. If this video made sense to you, leave in the comments the day you were born. Capricorn, the fact that you are still here, still listening, still willing to sit with this material rather than closing it off, that already tells you something. Tells you that you are ready, not just to recognize the patterns, but to actually do something about them. And doing something about them is where Capricorn truly lives. Recognition without action is philosophy, but you are not a philosopher by nature. You are a builder. You are someone who sees what needs to be done and does it. The 11 patterns you heard about today are not a list of failures. They are a map. They show you exactly where the energy has been stuck, exactly where you have been looping, exactly where the next breakthrough is waiting on the other side of a new choice. Each pattern has a corresponding release. Each loop has a corresponding opening. And you, with the discipline and the persistence and the structural intelligence that Saturn gave you at birth, have everything you need to make those new choices. You are not starting over. You are not behind. You are not someone who has somehow gotten this life wrong. You are a Capricorn at a critical inflection point, which means you are someone who has done enough of the work to see clearly and enough of the climbing to know that the view from here is not the final view. There is more. There is always more for you. But the more that is coming requires you to stop repeating the patterns that belong to the earlier chapters and start behaving in ways that are consistent with the chapter that is trying to open right now. Stop doing everything right while feeling empty. Stop choosing the same types who cannot meet you where you are. Let someone in when it is hard. Stay at the edge of what you want instead of retreating at the last moment. Let connection be more than what you reveal when you feel safe. Give your joy permission to exist right now, not someday. Start living the future instead of only preparing for it. Honor your emotional needs as the information they are rather than the inconvenience you have been treating them as. Give the people who love you your actual presence, not your remainder. Build from desire, not from fear. And begin. Begin now, in the middle of everything being complicated and uncertain and imperfect. The pattern breaks the moment you decide it does. And for Capricorn, a decision is not a thought. A decision is an action. So what is the first action? You already know what it is. You have known for a while. Take it. The next chapter is ready for you. Go.